All right, so let's talk about quiz 3.54. This is equations of lines part 2. This is all about lines that are written in point slope form. Point slope form is y subtract y1 equals m times x subtract x1, where m is our slope, just like our slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, and x1, y1 together create a point that is on our line. So, given this formula, you will have some questions on your quiz that are similar to this. They will be split up, so you'll have a couple questions that say, what point lies on the line described by the equation below? And then you'll be given, like maybe your next question will say, what is the slope of the line given the equation below? I've just combined these together, so we have 3 examples to run through. Let's find a point on our line and the slope. So in this first example, we have y plus 8 equals 4 times x minus 5. Well, given our formula, y minus y1, x minus x1, the x1 and the y1 create our point. So for this first example, the point is x1, so x minus 5. 5 is x1. And then y minus y1. Here we have y plus 8. There's no minus. So think about that. What creates a plus right here? That happens when we subtract a negative. So this is going to be a negative 8. So our point is 5, negative 8. Our slope, m, is 4. Okay, so 0.5, negative 8, slope of 4. Let's try this down with our second example. Here we have y minus 7 equals 1/2 x plus 3. So our point, our x1 comes here with our x inside the parentheses, so x plus 3. What creates a plus when we should be subtracting? That happens when we subtract a negative. So that means we have negative 3, comma, and then y minus y1, or y minus 7, 7 is our y coordinate, and our slope is right here in front of our parentheses, 1/2. Okay, third and final example, our point. X minus x1, what happens when we're not subtracting anything from x? It's just simply x. Well, what number, when you subtract it from another number, does not change the value of the original number? That would be 0. When we add or subtract 0 to anything, we get no change. Okay, so 0, and then y minus y1, again, it's a positive, so we know that will be a negative 1. And our slope is a negative 2/3. Okay, so these are 3 examples of how to pull out the points and the slope given a point slope form. Let's take a look at a different type of question. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this. I need to draw out an equation that has been graphed. Okay. Here's our graph. Here's our equation, or our line, sorry. We have a point down here that is negative 3, negative 8. Okay, our question says the slope of the line below is negative 5. Here, the slope of this line is negative 5. Which of the following is the point slope form of the line? Okay, so given a point on the line and the slope, we are asked to find which of the following. So as you know, Apex is all multiple choice. In this case, we don't have our multiple choice, but that's fine. We can still write out our equation. So we're going to say y subtract y1. So go to our point, pull out the y coordinate, that's a negative 8. So we're going to say y subtract negative 8 equals our slope, negative, guys, That's not a -5. That should be a +5 the way it's facing. Hopefully you guys caught that before I did. Y minus a -8 equals 5, parentheses, x subtract a -3. Now, in your quiz, you're not going to see y minus -8 because what happens when we subtract a negative? If you thought you add it, you are correct. So we're going to say y plus 8 equals 5, x plus 3. And this would be our equation of the line. Let's try another one of those. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. Let's truly make our slope negative this time. That was my bad the last time. Okay, we have a point on the line. So it's right here. That's -2, 2. Okay. What is the equation of this line if our slope is a positive or a -4/5? We'll call that as our slope. So we are asked to write out the equation of this line. We're going to follow this form again. Y subtract our y value, which is 2, equals our slope times x subtract our x coordinate, which is -2. And this is the equation. We are just simply going to, we are going to simplify our subtracting of a negative. So y minus 2 equals -4/5 x plus 2. And there's the equation of our line. Perfect. Okay. So let's see, what other types of questions might you have? Which of the following graphs represents the equation? Perfect. Okay. You might be given an equation and you're asked to find the graph that follows, or the correct graph of it. So let's see. If you're given the equation, okay, so this is the equation you're given. Y minus 2 equals 3 times x minus 1. We're asked to find a graph that fits that situation. Well, let's look at what our point would be first. Our point is going to be 1, 2, and our slope is 3. So we're going to come over here, we're going to look for a point at 1, 2, and then we're going to have a slope of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1. So you should look for a graph that looks like this. Okay, so just follow the normal graphing standards that you know so well. Okay, what is the point slope form of the line with slope -6 and 0.32? Oh, excellent. So you're just given a slope and a point and asked to write out the equation. So slope -6 and 0.32. Did I remember that correctly? Yep. Okay. So we're just following this pattern. Y minus 2 equals -6 times x minus 3. And that would be your correct answer. Okay, well, let's try a second one. This will be our last problem, and then you should be ready to take your quiz. So let's say that we have a slope. That's hard to see. Sorry guys, I'll move it down here. We have a slope, yep, that's better. Slope of 4/5 and a point of -10, 10. Okay, so that's going to be y minus 10 equals 4/5 times x minus a -10. And what happens when we subtract a negative? We add. Okay, so if you have any further questions on this quiz, quiz 3.5.4, let me know and I will try and assist you.